One decision that you make could influence something later on. For example, in my past relationship, which ended abruptly, I think now it's been 2 days, I made a decision to tell him very fast that I liked him. And then from there, without developing a friendship, he was unsure. And I remember that first day, he told me he was unsure and he wasn't feeling ready for a relationship. And in that moment, I really just wanted to jump into something because of how much I liked him. But later on, we engaged in things we shouldn't have engaged in early on. And it basically affected the rest of the relationship. Probabilities and outcomes are so interesting, like I said. Just because you stayed home, you could have saved yourself from a car crash. Just because you made one decision, such as picking out the right ticket, picking out the right set of numbers, you could win the lottery. But my question is that fate? Is life fate? Is everything that happens meant to be? Or is life a random set of events that happens and it isn't meant to be, it just happens, but it could potentially be better? There's a lot of question about that, because then it gets into the topic of who's the God? Is there a God? There's so many different routes, there's so many different paths that we could choose each second of our lives. Each choice that we make, it leads us down a separate path. It's like the butterfly effect. You choose one thing, and because of that thing, it leads down a separate path. And there's thousands of and millions of different paths that we could potentially take. I remember watching this movie called Coherence, and it was about that. It was about parallel universes that collided in their worlds because of a comet that was flying by that was, magical, that made all of them collide together. And because of that, they had different, before they left the house, they got a glow stick and it was blue, let's say, for example. The other houses picked a different color and they were in a little bit of different situations. But can you imagine a world where it was completely different? Can you imagine a world where there are still dinosaurs roaming? And there has been studies about the theory of I believe it's quantum physics. And they say that dimensions and other parallel universes could be in the same place as us, but just in a different, I don't know what the word is for that, but it's like we could be sitting in our living room and there could be dinosaurs walking, but we don't see it, we don't feel it, because it's in a different realm, it's in a different place that we cannot touch or see. One little action, one little event could influence, and because we have so many different perspectives, everybody has a different perspective due to their past experiences. So with their past experiences and then their perspective of a situation and then the event that happens that you choose to do, it all connects together and creates the outcome. So let's say the outcome was different. Well, what deems as good or bad? If you really dive into it, it's only what we deem as good or bad. Somebody's good could be someone else's bad. So it's all a mystery. How could I be a better person? How do all these events tie in together, and how could that influence these things?